Hey everyone, me Kevin here. I'm an investor in Apple. It's my third largest position, right behind Tesla and Amazon. And this is my reaction to Apple's iPhone 12 event. We'll also talk about Amazon's sneaky slap back at Apple. Just a heads up, this is not a highlights video. I did post a highlights video shortly after the event. That'll be linked down below if you haven't seen it yet. But for now, let's talk about this from an investor point of view. First, the new iPhone lineup. Most of the iPhone's impressive features that were announced today related to 5G speeds and camera technology, which will be phenomenal if you travel or you're a YouTuber or both, especially if you want to use the phone in low light or unpredictable situations. I used to use my iPhone 11 exclusively to shoot videos when I went to construction sites to sort of log real estate, but I realized the phone kind of looked like a toaster once you were shooting inside. There was so much grain everywhere, especially if I shot on 4K. And now I look at the iPhone 12 as having potentially a better camera that will be able to survive in these low light scenarios, which will be good. But then again, there are not a lot of people like me vlogging in unpredictable low light situations. Now, 5G seems to be exciting, but then again, we all also know that it's going to be a while before carriers actually get serious about 5G. Now, I shouldn't say that AT&T and Verizon and other companies aren't serious about 5G, but let's be real. Right now, Verizon's nationwide 5G network is maybe 1.8 times faster than the LTE speeds we have available now. The 20x speeds we're expecting for the potential of 5G probably won't be available for another, my guess, 1 to 3 years as carriers actually build out their infrastructure. So for the vast majority of daily users, the iPhone 12, in my opinion as an investor, doesn't scream, I need this. Instead, it's much more like, cool, new colors. Now, don't get me wrong about that either. I love the new colors, and I'm personally really excited, especially about the 2 versions of blue they came out with. But to me, this phone is really just keeping up. It's another refresh cycle, but it's not going to be, in my opinion, a super cycle of people upgrading their phones because, wow, we now have a bigger screen, or we have Face ID, which we didn't have before. Oh my gosh. No, the reality is the 90 million people that already have phones that are older than 3 years old, well, iPhones that are older than 3 years old, the reality is I don't expect many of them to all of a sudden get convinced to buy into the iPhone 12. Now, don't get me wrong, I will get the iPhone 12. I love the fact that they have the MagSafe technology on the back for charging cases and the attachable wallet because, quite frankly, I like those things. I always lose my wallet, and I don't really love that when I put my phone on my wireless charger, sometimes I totally miss. And that's kind of why they're making this new MagSafe adapter. And I think some of these are really good fixes that we kind of almost needed. But overall, from an investor point of view, we've got more niche solutions. Here's another example. The new LiDAR technology will be pretty great for potentially 3D scanning technologies. Think Matterport without having to actually buy a fancy Matterport camera. Instead, being able to actually put together quality Matterport scans using the iPhone. That would be pretty incredible. In fact, in the demo reel that Apple put together, they had an example showing InstaCAD, which makes me wonder if that's going to be a future release for creating AutoCAD drawings for architects built directly in to the iPhone. I think that would be phenomenal. And the ability to take raw photos will be super exciting for, in my opinion, real estate listing photos, especially inside properties. I usually shoot raw. But the reality is a lot of the things I'm talking about here are relatively niche solutions. Super exciting to have a new phone, but nothing earth-shattering here. Now instead, I'm a little bit more excited as an investor about HomePod. See, Apple recently kicked Sonos speakers out of their stores and multiple other speaker products, and in that place, we're expecting to see the new Apple Mini HomePod. The HomePod is a $99 mini speaker, and it has the ability to simultaneously intercom with multiple people in multiple locations within the home, which yes, the Alexa can do as well, but what the Alexa can't do is you can actually intercom to the HomePod from CarPlay, your watch, or your phone from outside the house to talk to people inside the house.
You'll get a home intercom system that goes everywhere with you. Ask everyone who's hungry. I've got pizza.
The message will automatically play on HomePod speakers throughout the home.
This is something that the Amazon Alexa does not have because, well, the Amazon phone, the Fire phone, flopped and was subsequently discontinued. The HomePod also, unlike Alexa, lets you stream from multiple locations at the same time when it comes to listening to music. Right now, at least, the system is limited to just streaming from one location at a time with the Alexa or Amazon Music subscription. The other thing that's pretty neat is the pod's ability to turn into a stereo pod when it's located next to another pod.
And when you place two in the same room, they'll intelligently become a stereo pair, filling your space with rich, enveloping sound.
To me, this is exciting because usually when you set up like a stereo system or even like a 5.1 surround sound system, unless you pay for a nice setup, you're doing a lot of balancing, you're running wires, or you could buy expensive Sonos speakers, but this could be a potential to have at least stereo sound, not sure yet on surround sound, though that'd be pretty cool, at least stereo sound pretty easily and automatically. And after all, most of us, when it comes to listening to music, don't need surround sound, though that could be something cool in the future. I can imagine a HomePod being at every corner of my family room and then having surround sound. So maybe something to think about, Apple, if you haven't already. Now, of course, leave it to Amazon. Amazon just announced its new Echo 4 Dot. This Echo 4 Dot will also feature a bigger speaker, and it kind of looks exactly like the Apple HomePod. I mean, not exactly like, but it's pretty dang close. And in a classic Amazonian move, Amazon is selling it for just $95, aka $5 less than the Apple HomePod. The Amazon version will be available on October 22nd, and it's already available for pre-orders, while the Apple HomePod won't be available for pre-orders until November 6th, and won't be available until November 16th. And it'll be $5 more. Now, to spite Apple's launch even more, Amazon also put their initial Alexa, or sort of their more inexpensive Alexa Dot, up for sale for just $18.99 on Prime Day, and that's their basic speaker. I mean, that's pretty dang inexpensive. So here's my scoop on this. I personally don't think that the Alexa or the Amazon version will be replaced, but in a crazy and kind of overwhelming tech way, I could see households starting to have both Alexa and HomePods in their homes. Alexa probably has a slight edge in giving you shopping notifications and letting you reorder items, which is great, and because more people have Alexas in their homes already. But remember this, Alexa doesn't have access to your calendar and presumably your mail and messages, which does give Siri on the HomePod a potential strength. So in my opinion, because of this, you might be likely to have both. Basically, two personal assistants here, a shopping assistant via Alexa and Home, and life assistant via the HomePod, which could be especially fun when it comes to the Apple Fitness Plus software and sort of suite that's coming out later this year. Additionally, in the future, it probably wouldn't be unheard of for all of these devices to end up being Wi-Fi extenders built in, or even 5G extenders, but we don't have that yet. Back to the iPhone. 92% of people tend to stay with Apple once they're in Apple. And yet when it comes to the iPhone, only 12% of Apple's customers actually order through Apple directly. That's at least according to Business Insider from 2019. Most people buy the iPhone through their wireless carriers. This means I would not be shocked to see a lot more intense advertising from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile pushing people to upgrade to the new iPhone and these new 5G speeds, even though in reality, I don't expect these 5G speeds to be anything spectacular. Verizon also partnered with Apple on this launch and introduced the phone for low monthly payment options. So when it comes to picking a 5G stock, I have to say, rather than picking the carriers, let the carriers do the work for Apple, let the carriers put the infrastructure in, let the carriers do the ads, and let Apple get the profit. So for me, I'm overall very excited about being an investor in Apple. If anything, today's event re-inspired my excitement for Apple. I don't think we're going to see a dramatic surge in sales that we maybe saw in 2014 and 2017 following today's event. We just don't have that really big, like, one more thing. but that's okay. To me, I think there were plenty of wonderful things, including the MagSafe functionality for the wallets, the cases. I love the HomePod potential, and I really think we're gonna start seeing HomePods sitting on top of the old Alexas, or HomePods and Alexas sitting next to each other. It wouldn't surprise me. Although I will say I am a bit bummed that I'm not going to be getting another charger for my iPhone. I really like getting a new fast charger every year. Regarding the stock, home accessories and wearables represent under 13% of Apple's revenue right now. If we take out the watch, Apple's home accessories and headphones really only make up like 1 to 2% of Apple's revenue. So even if the HomePods doubled, you're really not going to see a big movement in Apple's earnings. Instead, all you're really doing with the HomePod is you're building more brand loyalty, especially with that feature to be able to intercom in from outside the home into the home. It's almost like a quicker way to send a quick message to the home without having to figure out, okay, who's home, which phone should I call, and just blast a message. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be great for waking people up, or some potential problems with this, but to me, it's gonna be really interesting, and that might be a reason why people might want to have both. For now though, Apple and Amazon will remain my top number 2 and 3 stocks. If I can buy Apple under 110, I'm game to buy it individually, but in the meantime, I don't mind picking up more Apple or Amazon in my 1337 portfolio, which, keep in mind, that's just my assortment of my top 33 stocks, which you can see the exact allocations for that by going to metkevin.com/1337V11. Thanks so much, and we will see you in the next video.